183 TLP tournament. This is our first losers bracket game of the tournament. We've got Smokey Joe versus DeeJay. Smokey Joe lost his game yesterday to Trinidad, and DeeJay lost his game to Arctic. So now these two teams are facing elimination. So they're both back up. They've got their backs up against the ropes here. Second game. So we are now playing Cliff. The first games are all played on Wide Park, but second games are all played on Cliff. So at least we'll get to see something different.
That's going to be interesting because we don't have the giant gun depression favored railroad tracks down the middle. So we might see more of the IS-7s in this possibly, or IS-4s. Maybe, it may not be a constant E5.
Russian tanks
E5.
in general.
We may see more lower gun depression but better armored tanks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Yagzilla roll out or a 183 in this as well. I would imagine we'll see a 704 because of Depster, but the other team, I'm not sure.
Depster's in the 704. Yeah, he'll be in the 704. I believe that's his only tank at the moment.
Which will not allow Faust or Smokey to run any tier 10 tank destroyers. That may be a disadvantage for them. I believe Blazing Thrax has tier 10 tank destroyers, or tier 10 tanks in general, so they have a little more working room on that other side on Team DeeJay.
Now,
interesting. It's interesting, Blazin hasn't played much lately, but in that last game, I was really impressed that he wasn't as rusty as I was hoping he was going to be, and had plowed me in my 183.
Got a slight problem here. I smell fire.
That's not a problem. Just keep going.
Okay, no, I'm pretty sure it's a barbecue outside. Okay, I'm fine. We just kind of had this moment of panic. Like, I smell fire. Did I leave the toaster oven on? Because I just finished making pogos earlier for Maverick.
I'm assuming that those are Canadian food. I've never heard of those.
Corn dogs. Pogos are a brand name of corn dog.
Gotcha.
Sorry, it's in Canada we call all corn dogs pogos because pogos is the only brand of corn dog. I feel like I'm doing a spokes thing for pogos now. It's the only brand of corn dog that's even edible up here. They're not a very big thing, but they're the only ones that make any.
I'm also a big fan of your craft dinner.
And ketchup chips.
Yeah.
All right, so as I mentioned, we are playing on Cliff for the second battle here, and the reason we went with Wide Park and then Cliff for the battle 1 and battle 2 is to make sure that if a team wasn't comfortable on a small map like Wide Park, they get a chance to redeem themselves on a big map like Cliff. So instead of doing like Wide Park and Mines back to back, or say Cliff and Proc back to back, and having two of the same style maps, this way it's going to allow people to redeem themselves and not be able to say, well, we're not good on small maps. We had 2 small maps in a row and we've lost. This way they get a chance to do a totally different style game.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Wide Park is even though it's a fairly small map, it can play big. Where this map plays really big. You can easily see mediums in this, but it doesn't appear that that's what we have. But in the future, I know that medium will be on my possible tanks to play for sure.
Oh, have they've started showing their tanks? Okay.
Tanks are picked. Ready here.
I walked away. We have Smokey Joe's team with an F251B, a 704, and an IS4.
That's going to be interesting because I've got 2 highly armored turrets. So I don't know what their plan is, but with the IS-4, I would imagine we'll see some Death Valley love.
And what are they up against, Tater?
And they are up against a T-30 Tier 9 tank destroyer with really good gun depression, an E-5 Tier 10 heavy with amazing gun depression, and a Chieftain, which also has decent gun depression. So these guys, I would expect these guys to play the middle of the map, or at least attempt to play the middle of the map. This should be very interesting because they've got tanks for 2 different play areas of this map.
And
interesting statistic is we have Smokey Joe with over 30,000 games played versus DeeJay's 14,000 games played. However, Smokey Joe comes in with a win 8 of 17-26 and DeeJay at 25-21.
now,
Definitely
if
a
you were to
skill
tell
gap
that
in
stat
there.
to DJ, he would definitely pull up the fact that, well, what about all the beta games I played? All the beta games I played, because he definitely was the battle leader of beta. So,
Yeah, that's true.
So we've got DJ in the
Off
blue.
to
He's on the south side, and we've got
And
Joe
despite
on the
my
north in
prediction,
red.
blue team is heading straight towards Death Valley. I'm going to watch very carefully for the bush rock because I know that a lot of people like to run into that, and I would like to get a good laugh out of it.
Blazing Thrax avoided that bush rock.
Avoided the bush rock, but just barely.
So you were mentioning how Wide Park is a small map, but it can play big, and we saw that in the last battle with DJ and Arctic. And this although it is a big map, it can play
played in the
small
horseshoe.
when people.
It's playing
Yeah.
small. Depster's interesting, hiding out in the back with the sniper tank. This should be cool. I'm interested to see if he's able to land anything from that distance.
Well, who just landed that shot on Blazing Thrax?
I believe that was
Depp?
I think that was either Faust or Smokey.
I don't think so. It wasn't. Yeah, because it wasn't a big hit. There's a big hit from Depp.
Bolting's taken a big wallop from Depp.
They haven't seen Depp yet. They know he's there because he just slammed Bolting in the face, but
you know, I'm not sold on this
Chieftain
in competitive play. I think it's a little soft. I think its frontal armor is not near strong enough. Although, look at Blazen's position right now. Blazen's position.
He found
Depp. And it's
missed
a bounce
him, though.
or a miss. I'm not sure which. Smokey Joe and Faust are relying heavily on Depster to keep these guys at bay. DeeJay appears to be bouncing everything thrown at him. Oh, we got some grinding.
DeeJay can keep Bolting from losing any more health, and they hold this corner together.
Bolting takes another one.
It's going to come down to Blazing Thrax up here at the top. If he can make a difference from the top there.
Oh, big time. It appears Blazen's trying to get shots on the rear of Faust and Smokey Joe, but I think Depster is just too formidable back there to allow that to happen.
Blazing Thrax has not been able to detect Depp. Does the 704 is it known for having camo? Because
he was detected once, but he's not detecting it now. I'm going to zoom in on Depster.
Check out his position.
Depster is not even in a bush. He's wide open. I do not know why he's not detected.
I wonder if he has a camo net. That still doesn't seem like it should keep him.
At that range, I'm not sure that range, but that seems like it's really close to not be detected. Blazin may have damaged optics, but I'm not certain.
You can toggle to him in tank view, and it'll tell you.
Do that.
Smokey Joe and Faust making a push on DeeJay. They realized that Bolting's son had left him. Bolting coming back, but they are both losing health quickly.
Oh, this is not
bounces
looking good.
There, very good.
DeeJay. DeeJay's swinging wide. I got a side Faust and Smokey. He left his tail towards Faust. This could be it for DeeJay. Blazin jumps off, takes damage.
And down goes Bolting and DeeJay. Whoa,
Ooh.
camera went crazy there. And it comes down to just Blazin in the T30.
He's flanking Depster, though. This could be a good hit right here. He's lined up for a wallop. 765.
765.
It's a big one. Oh, Depp returns the
He gets
favor,
walloped.
though.
Yeah. And Blazin Thrax goes down. Smokey Joe takes a 1-0 lead.
That was well played by both teams. Possibly a fatal
everyone
mistake
dealt
when
some damage there.
Bolting peeled off of DeeJay. I'm not certain if that was the deciding factor, but
He was trying to group up with Blazin on the top, and Joe recognized it and made a push right at that moment. Not
it's a
necessarily
really good read.
Yeah, not necessarily the wrong move by Bolting Son, but more the right move by Joe, I think.
Agreed.
So I'm going to head back to the lobby here to make sure everything's getting set up for round 2. And I will put the round 2 splash screen up.
We are now switching sides. Like I said, I was really surprised to see the gun depression tanks playing down low. It interests me that they would take that route with those tanks.
DJ's probably scrambling here to rethink. Poor DJ. He came in. He had to play his first match of the first match of the day against Arctic. Ranrod had been woken up about 10 minutes before that match started, so
It was interesting. We were freaking out about Ranrod in there. I finally gave him a phone call for him to wake up as the match is going.
yeah. But right now for DJ, Bolting Son is from Australia, so he's 12 hours, 13 hours off of us. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning for him, I think. So he got up pretty early to play this match, or to play his first match, and he had to play the second match back to back. So
yeah, that's rough. And Bolting is not the most experienced player. He's around 4,200 battles. That is really low in this clan. I would say this gaming community averages 6,000-7,000 per player, easy, or more.
I'd even venture to say double that. Bolting Son has more experience than his battles show, though. I've played quite a bit with Bolting Son. With him being in Australia, and I work straight afternoons, I play a lot in the morning, and that's mid-afternoon for him. So I've played a lot of battles with him, and I'll tell you, he's a lot more experienced than the battle count shows.
Oh, DeeJay is switching it up. Big guns out now, a Jag E100 and an E100, as well as a Bat Chat. This ought to be interesting. I can't say that I would not pick those tanks. Those are all 3 really good choices for this map. Going back to Bolting, even though he is an inexperienced player, he is a really good player. I think for his experience level, his abilities are exceptional.
So Joe is on the south side now. He is in blue. And DJ is on the north in red. And as you mentioned last battle, I'm gonna watch here to see if anyone hits that bush rock. But it looks like Smokey Joe's taking his team to the hills, so there will be no bush rock to hit. I'm gonna fly over here. The bush rock. This is what we're talking about when we say bush rock. That bush right there kind of hides the corner of that rock as it sticks out, and a lot of people go whoop and run right into it. Especially when they're nervous.
It's always
tense.
really comical, especially when they hit it with a bat chat doing about 60. And DeeJay crests up over, and he is initially spotted. Faust is also
He's
spotted.
Using the tier 9 bat chat now. He's doing something totally different than we've seen so far in this tournament.
And I think it's a good pairing with the super heavies. I think that's a great idea to have some eyeballs for the super heavies. We'll see what happens when they meet up, because it sits right now. Those big guys are down in the bottom, and I'm not sure how that's gonna fare when they try to push this hill up.
DeeJay bounces a shot off the IS. Gonna peel off, retreat.
I do have to say that the heavy selection that Smokey Joe has picked up here, the 215B with a ridiculous amount of turret armor, and the IS-4 with a lot of turret armor. If they can hold down, it'll be really tough, even for the Jag to get through those guys.
Now the 215B, nails DeeJay here. We've got a little 1v1 going on here. The 215B is considered a super heavy with at least 2,500 HP.
Wow.
DeeJay trying to put a couple shots in the Depster before he drops off the hill, and Depster goes down.
Takes out Depster. This could be a whole different game.
Yeah, now you got a 2v2 with DeeJay peeling off, doing some skids over there.
Psych out, it looks like.
He's doing a reload.
As soon as he was undetected, he turned around. He is coming back into the fight. This could be really interesting.
It's going to be a standoff here, and then DeeJay's going to get as far away as he can and put some shots in from the rear in the distance.
Great idea. Oh, Smokey takes a big one and returns a shot. DeeJay is picking at Smokey from the distance. There's two.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for Joe.
Blazin's pushing hard on Faust. Blazin rams Faust. It will hurt him severely.
Faust all by himself.
Here comes the ram for 47. That was a good ram and a track.
Just pushing him. Faust goes down by DeeJay.
We may have lost this one,
and we have our second game in a row to go to a tiebreaker.
Wow.
To OT. And as with last round, with the last battle, the winning team of round 2 gets to pick their spawn side of the tiebreaker on Ghost Town. So that will go to DeeJay. Let me add a 1 to DeeJay's score. So I'll take a look at the damage. Smokey Joe, the only one on his team to land some damage. Those super heavies that DeeJay pulled out were completely nullifying the opponent's rounds. Hits received 5. Bolting Sun was shot 5 times.
Yeah, let's talk about Ghost Town for a minute. Ghost Town, even though it's one of my least favorite maps to play in pub matches, as a 3v3 or even a 5v5 or 7v7 tournament play like this, it is a great map. It's a little too small for 15 on 15 in my opinion, but its symmetry and just the fact that it's urban combat is really fun when you're in a low number battle like this. Not to mention the encounter is slapped right in the middle of the map. I really don't see much advantage to which spawn you pick in this map, to be honest. What's your opinion there?
It's basically a neutral map. The only variations to this map from side to side are on the perimeter outside of the town. So if you look on the bottom where there's those two hills and on the top where there's those two hills are a little bit different, but
Right.
as you can see, the rest of the map is virtually symmetrical. So it just depends on what their approach is to the map. This is the classic tiebreaker map in any tournament I've ever participated in. And they've always done the rule where the team to tie the game is the team that gets to pick the side. It's not that big a deal, but you have to have a ruling for deciding which side you play on.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd argue over I wanted the other side, you know.
That's correct. And you say that the hills are different north and south, and they definitely are. However, in a counter battle, I don't think it really plays into the map very much at all, if at all. So it should be a pretty fair match regardless of which side they choose. In encounter in this map, gun depression is king, in my opinion. Those hills leading up to the plateau in the middle, really at a big disadvantage if you can't shoot over that hill. So I don't think we'll see IS4 again, but I'm not sure.
Well, it just depends on which part of the town they roll into.
That's true.
You can find if you know your way around the city in this map, you can avoid the hills and you can avoid the gun depression problem.
You can climb the hill while you're behind cover. That is very true.
If you're fast enough, you can, which the IS4. Actually, I'm not sure how fast the IS4 is, but I know the IS7 is fast enough to get up the hill before the enemy does. And
now, is there any ruling in this about playing the same identical tank? Two identical tanks? There is no ruling about that, right? So we could easily see a couple IS7s.
The ruling on tank selection is obviously 2 10s and 1 9. And only one TD, and you can't use 3 of the same tank type. So you can't roll 3 heavies or 3 mediums. You have to go 2 and 1. You could go 1 medium, 1 heavy, 1 TD.
Eliminates a lot of the medium teams. Especially in Cliff, I think you would see 3 mediums all day long if that was the choice. But leaving your slow tank destroyer friend down there or heavy friend down there to die is...
We wanted to make sure there wasn't any super heavy teams or any super medium teams.
Right.
Looks like they are revealing their tanks. I will go back to showing that for you guys.
Blazin forgot to pick his. I'm assuming this is the
So
Yag coming out. That's funny. They probably chose before map switch. That would easily happen.
Yes, anyone who's watching this and hasn't played their round yet, you have to wait for the map to be changed before you pick your tank. Because when the training room gets altered, when the map gets changed and whatnot, it deselects everybody's tank. But when you're in fog of war mode, in spectator mode, you don't realize it until he unspectates you. So always be aware that if they've changed the map after you've already selected, it will deselect your tank, and you have to go back to the garage and repick it. So we have Joe in blue in the top right corner, and DeeJay, who got to pick the side, chose the southwest. Same side that Arctic chose when DeeJay and Arctic faced off in this tiebreaker round not more than an hour ago.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see the 704 in this one. 704, I think, is at a huge disadvantage. Doesn't seem to have a ton of armor, and it being a locked hole tank destroyer, I think you could see some serious trouble that might get into here.
So DeeJay has opted for dropping the bat chat and taking an E50. Might be a wise choice, seeing how Joe went with double E100s. That's a lot of health.
Should see some spots coming up any moment. DeeJay realizes that, but Depp is still out in the open. If DeeJay spots Depp out here, it could be an early hits. Depp's playing defensively though, so see what happens when that spot happens.
Depp with the he must have like an active camo suit on that 704. That 704 has been
it's literally invisible to everybody.
Yeah, like I can't believe that. Oh, I guess he is behind a bunch. I'm zooming in now and going behind him. He is behind those rubble buildings, so that makes sense here. But that last match, I couldn't get that. We've got engagement there with the heavies in the middle, and
Faust is
DeeJay
detected.
And
DeeJay and Depp, that's still there. Oh, boom, they are
there
spotted.
it is.
DeeJay fires, but does not do damage. And Depp is looking for a piece right now.
Joe took a big hit. He must have gotten hit by Blaze.
DeeJay's still firing at Depster. Depster's pulling out, looking for a side shot. DeeJay sees it, backs around. We have two different fights going on. Oh, Bolting Sun took a big wall up, 740-ish, I believe.
Yeah, Faust and Joe here were squared off around the corner from Blazin and Bolting, but they were trying to hit DeeJay instead of focusing on the corner battle.
Blazin and Bolting both hit Faust. That's 1,700 damage combo. It's a big hit. Faust and Smokey do not have anything to hide their holes on here, so that is that Yag is just ripping people apart. Oh, and it's down.
Blazin Thrax goes down, but Joe and Faust are both low health, so if they can take one of those tanks out, they'll have an even tank advantage, and Joe will be on the
Bolting's coming around for the shot. Oh,
bounces and takes a big hit himself. That was a bad exchange for Bolting.
You know, when they're low health like this, it's sometimes a good idea to roll HE. You can almost peel it off without even just a snapshot.
I believe Depp just took an ammo rack from DeeJay. DeeJay's circling Depp over there. DeeJay's got Depster
rear end to DeeJay. Oh, Depster.
So DeeJay's gonna have his way with Depp over here. That's unfortunate for Depp.
Smokey's flanking
Bolting is gonna go down himself.
Oh, he bounces off of Smokey Joe. If Depp can hold out for a few moments.
Although DeeJay has completely had his way with Depp and his fixed turret,
Bolting Sun goes
down.
Wasn't
quick enough.
There are two E100s versus an E50. At this point in the game, I'd say we might be wise to lay up on the cap. Joe is backing into the cap. If one of them doesn't take damage, if they're both in there, they can win this. It only takes one to not take damage. Oh, Smokey goes down. Faust. Yeah,
and DeeJay has definitely got the health advantage here. He just has to make sure he lands probably two shots. There's one. He's circling Faust. So it's not easy to pen an E100 though, even from behind sometimes. Faust was able to wiggle his butt, bounce that shot from DeeJay.
If Faust can back up behind Smokey Joe's corpse, they may have a good chance
It
at
comes
not
down
taking
to
any
a
damage.
one-shot each. DeeJay
Faust
low rolls
survives it.
and he doesn't get the kill. If Faust
Jesus
reloads,
frowns
you can see
upon
that
DeeJay.
reload bar. It's pretty close. He bounces.
RNG just frowns upon DeeJay.
Oh,
The D Team DeeJay is out of the tournament.
job I ever had.
Faust managing to bounce all those shots from DeeJay.
Faust was a big scorer in that game at 4279 damage. 11 shots fired and 7 penetrations. That's brutal out of an E100.
Poor Depster got circled by DeeJay, who had his way with him, but on the plus side for that, he was able to take DeeJay out of the battle while Joe and Faust, his teammates, were able to take out Thrax and Blazing Thrax and Bolting Sun, allowing it to end up in a 2v1 that Joe's team was ultimately able to win.
That was a pretty impressive ending. When it comes down to a one shot each, that's. Whew. There's an advantage to having both of those tanks, and that's the armor, obviously, of the E100 and the ability to reload of the E50. I guess in this case, the armor won that battle.
We've got DeeJay in here now. Poor DeeJay.
Oh my God!
And,
Closer than that. Does it get any closer than that,
congratulations,
man?
Smokey
I don't know why I
Joe.
didn't stop. I just didn't stop and aim at your butthole.
That was Faust, man. It wasn't me. You got me
That
right
was
off
Faust.
the get-go. He was
Wow.
giggling. He's like, I wonder if he knows how to reverse side scrape, because I do.
No, I wasn't stupid. I was just trying to get around get a flat angle, but he kept on turning with me.
You should have just stopped and hit lower plate, man.
I know I should have, but he was wiggling too. So that gun just doesn't have the
played very
pen.
well by Faust.
Yeah, I didn't have the pen, because it's a regular 950. That the pen just doesn't hit the angles. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get Blazing in here. Well, I told Blazing and Bolting if you guys need them, they could take somebody. If Lenny wants them.
Depp has
Or
just
not doing it.
informed me that pump will be filling in for All Eyes.
Okay.
That's allowed?
He is the founder.
I'll allow it.
That is true. That is true. So up next we have Mark Jackson versus Lenity. And that game will be taking place shortly. We'll have a quick recess, reset the room, and I will reset the scoreboard and put up the new team logos. So we will catch you in about 10 or 15 minutes. And again, congratulations, Smokey Joe. And what an unfortunate heartbreak loss there for DeeJay. It came right down to a one shot each.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you.